He tore the divorce papers without a second glance, grabbed his 1-year-old daughter from the crib, and handed her to her mother like she was a burden. "I don't need her. Take her and get out of my life." That was the last sentence Alina ever heard from Aydin Knight, one of the richest CEOs in the city, but the poorest in humanity. 12 years later, fate struck back. Aydin Knight, once unstoppable, now lay weak in a hospital bed. His kidneys had failed. His empire was collapsing. His arrogance, his pride, his loneliness, everything had finally erupted into a punishment he never saw coming. But destiny had a twist waiting. A girl walked into the hospital lobby, confident, fierce, and holding her medical file. "I'm here for the donor match." For Aydin Knight, she was the same baby he threw out, now the only reason he could live again. Aydin Knight believed power could fix anything. Contracts, empires, deals, people, everything had a price, and he knew how to pay it. But that belief shattered on a rainy Thursday night when a quiet home argument turned into a life-changing storm. The Knight mansion, usually filled with marble shine and silence, echoed with a baby's soft cries. Alina stood in the middle of the living room, rocking their 1-year-old daughter Maya, trying to soothe her. The child's tiny fingers kept tugging at her mother's shirt, frightened by the loud thunder outside. Aydin entered with his usual cold presence, removing his cufflinks as if removing emotions along with them. "You're home early," Alina said softly. "I'm home because of your message," Aydin replied without looking at her. His voice was flat, tired, irritated. "You said we needed to talk." "Yes, we do." Alina took a deep breath. "Aydin, this isn't working." Aydin finally raised a brow. "What isn't?" "Us," she said, heart trembling. "This marriage, your absence, your distance, your anger?" Aydin exhaled sharply. "Alina, I'm building a legacy. For you, for her." Alina's eyes watered. Building a legacy doesn't matter when your daughter doesn't even recognize your voice. Aydin froze. Maya stopped crying for a moment and looked at him, curious, unsure. That small hesitation, that lack of recognition hit him somewhere deep, but pride covered it instantly. "Don't blame me for working to give her the best life," he snapped. "No," Alina whispered, "you worked to avoid us." Silence. A heavy, painful silence. Then Aydin spoke, cold as winter. "You're being dramatic." Alina shook her head gently. "Aydin, she needs a father, not a signature on her birth certificate. I can't raise her alone in a house full of money and emptiness." Aydin's jaw tightened. "So what do you want? A divorce?" The word sliced through the room. Aydin laughed a short, bitter sound. "Fine, if that's what you want." Alina expected anger. She expected argument. She never expected indifference. She placed Maya on the sofa and pulled out the divorce papers she had been holding for days. "Aydin, please try to understand." He snatched the papers, glanced once, and scribbled his signature without pausing. "No discussion," she whispered. "What's the point? You've already decided." His voice was dead. "Take whatever you want. I don't care." But then, Maya started crying again. Aydin's patience snapped. "She cries every night. I can't work in peace. I can't rest." He pointed toward the child, frustration boiling. "Take her with you when you leave." Alina blinked, stunned. "What do you mean?" "I mean," Aydin said slowly, "I don't need her." The room froze. Maya's cries softened into quiet hiccups. Thunder cracked outside, shaking the windows. Alina felt her knees weaken. "Aydin, she's your daughter. You can't say that." "I just did," he replied, turning his back. "I didn't ask for this life. I didn't ask to be a father." Tears blurred Alina's vision. She picked Maya up, hugging her tightly. "Does she mean nothing to you?" Alina whispered. Aydin didn't turn around. "Alina, please leave before this gets worse." And that was it. That was the moment the last piece of her heart broke. She quickly packed a small bag, diapers, milk bottle, Maya's tiny blanket with yellow stars, 2 dresses. She kept looking back at Aydin, silently hoping he would stop her. Just one word. One step. One sign that he cared. But he stood silent, staring out the window like a stranger. Finally, Alina walked to the door. Rain poured outside, heavy and cold. Maya whimpered softly, burying her face into her mother's chest. Aydin's voice echoed one last time without emotion. "Goodbye, Alina." She looked at him with red eyes. "You'll regret this someday, Aydin Knight." He didn't reply. The door closed behind her. Aydin didn't move for a long time. His world had gone silent, but he didn't feel relief. He felt something else, something he refused to name. 12 years later, life had changed in ways Aydin never predicted. Knight Enterprises had expanded across continents, but success came at a price he didn't pay willingly. At 43, Aiden looked older than his age. His once sharp face had dark circles, his body weak, his skin pale. Years of stress, alcohol, overwork, and heartbreak carved deep lines around his eyes. And now, both his kidneys were failing. He sat in a hospital bed, surrounded by machines that beeped in slow, haunting rhythms. His assistant, Mark, stood beside him. "Sir, the doctor says we're running out of time. We need a living donor. Your name has been on the waiting list for months." Aiden closed his eyes, exhausted. "And my family?" he asked quietly. Even saying the word felt heavy. Mark hesitated. "Sir, your ex-wife didn't respond. She changed numbers, changed address." Aiden's heart sank, but he nodded. He deserved this silence. "And the girl?" Aiden whispered. He struggled to say it. "My daughter." Mark swallowed. "We still can't find her." Aiden looked out the window, rain falling just like that night 12 years ago. "I pushed them away," he murmured. "Both of them." His voice cracked for the first time in years. Same city, different home. Maya Collins, now 13, sat at a small wooden desk, surrounded by textbooks. She was brilliant, top of her class, stubborn. Her brown hair was tied in a messy ponytail, and her eyes carried both innocence and strength. Her mother Alina walked in with a letter in trembling hands. "Maya, sit down, I need to tell you something." Maya raised a brow. "Mom? What happened?" Alina inhaled shakily. "It's about your father." Maya stiffened. "My father, the man who threw us out, the one who didn't want me. He's sick." "Maya," Alina whispered. "Very sick. His kidneys are failing." Maya blinked, stunned. 1,000 emotions clashed inside her: anger, confusion, pity, rejection, curiosity. "So," she finally said, "it has nothing to do with me." Alina sat beside her. "Maybe not, but his life depends on a donor match. And Maya, you are his best chance." Maya felt her throat tighten. "He needs me now. Now he remembers he has a daughter." Tears gathered in her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. Alina touched her cheek. "You don't have to forgive him. You don't even have to see him. But sometimes, doing the right thing is about who you are, not who they were." Maya looked down at her small hands, hands he once refused to hold. After a long silence, she whispered, "Fine, I'll get tested." Knight Enterprises private hospital. Aiden lay half asleep when the door opened. He expected a nurse, but instead, a teenage girl walked in. Straight shoulders, sharp eyes, a face that looked painfully familiar. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice weak. She stepped closer. "I'm Maya," she said quietly. "Maya. Knight?" Aiden felt the world stop. His daughter, the child he threw away, now standing beside his bed after 12 long years, and she was here, to save him. Aiden Knight had faced boardrooms, hostile takeovers, billion-dollar negotiations, but nothing had ever terrified him like the girl standing at the foot of his hospital bed. Maya, 12 years older, 12 years stronger, 12 years colder. Her eyes were familiar, yet distant. His own eyes reflected back at him, but with a fire he no longer possessed. Aiden tried to sit up, but the pain from his kidneys shot through his spine. "You," he whispered, struggling to breathe. "You can't be." "I am," she said flatly. "Your daughter?" The words landed like a punishment he had waited years for. He swallowed hard. "Why? Why are you here?" Maya placed a file on the table beside him, her test results. "For this, I'm a donor match." Aiden blinked, disbelief crossing his face. "You got tested? Why?" "After everything," she cut him off sharply. "Don't misunderstand. I'm not here for you. I'm here because I want to live without regret, not because you deserve saving." Her voice held no softness, no warmth, only truth. Aiden felt something twist painfully inside him, not physical, something far worse. Guilt. For the first time in his life, he couldn't hide behind pride. "I'm sorry," he whispered, barely audible. Maya's jaw clenched. "Don't say sorry. Not yet. You don't get to apologize and think it fixes 12 years. She stepped closer, her expression unreadable. "You threw me out like trash. You threw my mother out. You didn't even look back." Her voice trembled slightly, but she didn't let it break. Alina entered the room quietly then. She froze when she saw Aiden, or rather, what remained of him. He looked nothing like the powerful man she once loved. His face was hollow, his hair streaked with gray, his body weak, drained, defeated. A part of her felt pity, a part of her remembered the pain. Aiden turned away, ashamed. "Alina, I never wanted it to end that way," he said softly. She blinked, surprised at the vulnerability in his voice. You had 12 years to think about that, she replied steadily. And I don't want to talk about the past. Maya is here for one reason only. The surgery. Maya nodded. It's scheduled in 2 days. Aiden's eyes widened. No, that's too soon. She's a child. She can't be forced into this. Maya's glare silenced him. I'm not forced. I chose this. You're only 13, Aiden said, voice breaking. You don't understand the risks. I understand enough. She shot back. And I understand that if I walk away today, you die. And whether I like you or not, I don't want that on my conscience. Her honesty cut deep. Aiden covered his face with his hands, ashamed of the tears burning behind his eyes. You shouldn't have to save me, he whispered. You're right, I shouldn't. Maya exhaled shakily, but here we are. Later that night Aiden couldn't sleep. Machines beeped around him, each sound reminding him of how fragile he'd become. He stared at the ceiling, 1,000 memories flooding his mind. Maya's first cry, her tiny fingers wrapped around Elena's thumb, her soft giggles at 2 months old. He remembered it all. And the moment he threw it away, a knock interrupted his thoughts. It was Maya. She didn't enter, just stood at the door. You're awake? She asked quietly. I can't sleep. Good, she muttered. You shouldn't. Aiden almost smiled at her bluntness. Why are you awake? He asked. She hesitated, then walked in. I wanted to understand something, and what is that? Why did you do it? Her voice cracked just a little. Why did you throw us out? Why me? I was just a baby. What did I do wrong? The pain in her words shattered Aiden's last wall. You did nothing wrong, he said painfully. It was me. All me. Maya's eyes narrowed. That's not enough. Why? Aiden closed his eyes. I was scared. Of what? Being a father? Yes. He swallowed hard, tears escaping. I didn't know how to love someone without failing them. I thought, if I let you in, you'd see how empty I was. So I pushed you away before you could see it. Maya stared at him, stunned. She had expected arrogance, excuses, anger. Not this, Aiden continued, voice trembling. I thought building an empire would protect me from my fears, but instead, it destroyed the only family I ever had. Maya looked away, struggling with her emotions. You hurt Mom, she whispered. I know. His voice cracked. And I'll never forgive myself for that. And you hurt me, she added. Aiden nodded slowly. I hurt you most of all. Silence filled the room. Then Maya said something unexpected. Do you want to live? Aiden blinked. What? Do you want to live? She repeated. Not for your company. Not for your money. For yourself. Aiden looked at her. For the first time, he said the truth without hesitation. Yes, I want to live to fix everything I broke. If you'll let me. Maya didn't respond. She simply turned to leave. At the door, she said, I'm doing the surgery. But after that, you earn your second chance. Understand? Aiden nodded, tears falling freely. Yes, I understand. Next morning, hospital garden. Elena and Maya sat on a bench. The morning breeze brushed gently across Maya's face. Are you scared? Elena asked softly. A little, Maya admitted. But I'm more scared of becoming bitter. I don't want his mistakes to shape me. Elena's eyes filled. You're braver than I ever was. No, Maya whispered. You were brave the day you walked out. Elena held her daughter's hand tightly. Meanwhile, inside the hospital, Aiden watched them from his window. For the first time in 12 years, he saw what he had lost: a family. He whispered to himself, if she survives this, I will spend the rest of my life becoming the father she deserves. But inside, he carried a fear Maya didn't know, a fear that he wouldn't survive the surgery, or worse, that she wouldn't, and he would never forgive himself again. The day of the surgery dawned quietly, almost respectfully, as if the world itself knew. 2 lives were about to change forever. Cold morning air drifted through the hospital corridors. Nurses moved softly, whispering instructions. Machines hummed. Monitors blinked. The scent of antiseptic hung heavy. Inside her small pre-op room, Maya sat on the edge of the bed, wearing a loose medical gown, her feet dangling above the floor. For the first time, she actually looked like a child. Elena brushed her daughter's hair gently. You don't have to be strong every second, Maya, she whispered. You're allowed to be scared. I know, Maya said, voice steady but soft. But I'm not doing this for him. I'm doing it for me. For us. Elena kissed her forehead. You're doing something extraordinary? Something I never could. Maya smiled faintly. Mom, you carried me through 12 years alone. I learned everything from you. Elena squeezed her hand. You're the best thing I ever had. Before Maya could respond, a nurse knocked politely. It's time. They're wheeling him in, too. Maya's heartbeat quickened. Her father, her stranger, her mistake maker, her blood, everything, mixed into a knot in her chest. Across the hall in the adult surgical prep room, Aiden Knight lay still, staring at the ceiling. His usually commanding presence was gone, his hair unkempt, his face pale, his hands trembling. He had faced death before, but in reckless ways. This was different. This time, death stared back. This time, the price of survival was his daughter's sacrifice, and he hated it. The door opened, and the surgeon entered. Mr. Knight, we're preparing to move you to the operating room, he said gently. As we discussed, there are risks. For you, and for your daughter. Aiden clenched his fists. I don't want her doing this, he whispered. She's just a child. The surgeon sighed. She insisted, and legally, both her mother and the ethics board approved with medical clearance. Her body is strong. Her tests are perfect. It's not about tests, Aiden muttered. It's about what she deserves, and what I don't. The surgeon watched him quietly. She chose compassion. The least you can do is choose survival. Aiden swallowed hard. I'm scared, he admitted, the words trembling out of him. For her, not for me. The last meeting before Surgr Weather, nurses allowed Maya and Aiden exactly 2 minutes to see each other before being taken into the operating theater. When Maya was wheeled into the hallway, she saw him. Aiden Knight, the man she had hated, resented, avoided lying on a bed, frail and helpless. Their eyes met. It was the most painful moment of both their lives. Aiden's voice shook. Maya, please, don't do this. Save yourself. She looked right at him, her young face firm. You didn't want me 12 years ago, she said quietly, but I'm not abandoning you today. Tears slipped from Aiden's eyes before he could stop them. You don't owe me anything, he whispered. I know. Her voice softened just a little, but I owe myself the truth. And the truth is, I don't want to become someone who walks away. Aiden reached out with a shaking hand. Maya hesitated, then slowly, she placed her small hand in his. It was the first time they had ever touched as father and daughter. If time could freeze, it would freeze here, Aiden whispered brokenly. Come back alive, please, come back. Maya blinked away her fear. You too. The nurses gently pulled their beds apart. Aiden's hand slid from hers. Maya's fingers curled as if holding on to an invisible thread. Then they were wheeled into separate doors, and the world outside went silent. Inside the operating theater, bright lights, cold metal tools, a team of surgeons moving with precision. Maya was placed on one table, Aiden on another, separated by a few walls, connected by destiny. The anesthesiologist leaned over her. Take deep breaths, sweetheart. It'll feel like falling asleep. Maya whispered, if anything happens to me, tell my mom I love her. And leave your father, the anesthesiologist asked softly. Maya hesitated. No, tell him. He didn't lose his last chance. Her eyes fluttered. Sleep pulled her into darkness. The kidney extraction took 2 hours. Her small body lay still, fragile yet brave. The surgeon gently lifted the kidney. Healthy, perfect size. Begin transport. Across the hallway, Aiden's chest rose and fell shakily as anesthesia flowed through him, before losing consciousness. He whispered, please save her. Not me. Her. But the drugs took him under before anyone could respond. The transplant began. Scalpels glided. Hands worked with focus. Life was moved from one vessel to another. Every second was precious. Every drop of blood held meaning, every moment balanced between hope and loss. The WITIN, the waiting room. Alina sat on a chair, trembling uncontrollably. 2 surgeries, 2 rooms, 2 people she loved in danger. A nurse approached. Ms. Collins, are you okay? No, she whispered truthfully. I'm breaking. Her voice cracked as she stared at the 2 red lights above the operation rooms. My daughter is just 13. She whispered. She hasn't even lived yet. She covered her face, sobbing, and he destroyed my heart once. But I don't want him to die, either. The nurse placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. They're in the best hands. Alina shook her head. No, they're in God's hands. Hours passed. Each minute felt like a century. Alina kept replaying a memory. Young Aiden holding newborn Maya for the first time, eyes shining, whispering, I'll protect her forever. Tears blurred her vision. You broke that promise, Aiden, she whispered, but she's keeping hers. The doctor finally, Alina stood instantly, breath frozen. The doctor removed his mask. His face was calm. Both surgeries went well. Alina gasped, covering her mouth. Maya, she breathed. She's stable. The doctor said gently. She's small, so her recovery will take time. But she's strong. And, him. The word barely left her tongue. Aiden is also stable. The kidney was accepted immediately. He'll wake up soon. Elena's knees buckled with relief. Thank you, she cried, tears streaming. Thank you so much. The doctor smiled softly. Your daughter is remarkable, Elena whispered. She always was. Inside ICU hours, Litridn woke first. His eyes opened slowly, blinking against the dim lights. Confusion, then pain, then realization, the transplant, the surgery, Maya. His heart thudded. Where is she? He rasped. The nurse smiled softly. She's in the pediatric ICU. She's awake. Aiden's eyes filled instantly. Take me to her, he begged. You can't walk yet, I don't care. Take me? Against protocol, 2 nurses helped wheel his bed into the pediatric ICU. Maya lay in a small bed, eyes half open, tubes around her, but alive. Alive. Aidan single quotes S breath hitched. Maya. His voice broke completely. You're okay. She gave him the faintest smile. You too. He covered his face, sobbing openly. I don't deserve you. I never did. Maya's voice was a whisper. You don't have to deserve me. You just have to try. Aiden looked at her, really looked, and something inside him healed and shattered at the same time. I will, he promised with every piece of his soul. I will spend every day of my life earning you. Maya closed her eyes, smiling softly. For the first time, I believe you. And for the first time in 12 years, they were no longer strangers. They were father and daughter. For real. The next morning, the ICU floor of West Hill International Hospital felt unnaturally quiet. The soft beeping of monitors, the sharp scent of antiseptic, and the first rays of morning light slipping through the glass panels made everything feel frozen in time. Ethan lay awake on his ICU bed. His eyes were still covered with a light bandage, and tubes ran across his arms. Yet his expression was calmer than it had been in years. For the first time in a long time, his heart felt lighter. A nurse stepped out, and moments later the doctor entered. Mr. Ethan, he said with a faint smile, the surgery was successful. The kidney was a perfect match. You're stable. Ethan swallowed, voice trembling. And her, my daughter. The doctor paused. She's recovering beautifully. She's strong. You both are doing well. Ethan closed his eyes. 12 years of guilt pressed against his chest. But this time it didn't crush him. It reminded him that he was alive because of the girl he once abandoned. Zara's room. Zara lay in her recovery bed. Weak but brave. The 4 beside her dripped quietly, and the morning light softened her pale face. Despite the tiredness, her eyes still carried that strength only found in children who learn to survive without a father's love. Ethan was brought to Warder room in a wheelchair, shaky but determined. When the door opened, Zara slowly lifted her head. For a moment there was confusion, then realization, then a soft smile. Ethan felt his soul crack. Dad, she whispered. The word hit him harder than any disease ever had. He hadn't heard anyone call him father in years, least of all the girl he had thrown out of his life. Ethan tried standing. Ignoring the nurse's warning, pain shot up his abdomen, but he didn't stop. He reached Zara's bedside and held her hand, trembling, regretful. Zara, I'm so sorry, he said, his voice breaking. I failed you. I failed your mother. I couldn't give you what you deserved. And still, you gave me life. Tears streamed down his face. Zara blinked, her eyes glistening. Dad, I never wanted anything from you. I just wanted you to accept me once. Ethan pressed her hand to his forehead, his shoulders shaking. This was the moment he had lost. And fate had returned to him through the girl whose childhood he had destroyed. What they had never spoken about for Ethan. Memories came flooding back. The night he divorced Ava. The night he yelled that he needed neither wife nor child. The night Ava walked out carrying baby Zara in her arms, tears streaming down her face. He remembered Ava's last words. Zara will be your biggest mistake, Ethan. One day, you'll realize what you lost. And today, he did. Hospital Garden. 1 week later, both Ethan and Zara were stable enough for light movement. Ethan requested the staff to take Zara to the hospital garden. The sunlight fell gently across the green lawn. Ethan sat on a bench, bandage visible, body weak, but spirit awake. Zara sat beside him, wrapped in a warm shawl. The silence between them wasn't empty. It was healing. Zara, Ethan said softly. Will you give me a chance? To be your father? To fix what I broke for 12 years? Zara looked at him, really looked. People get chances, she said quietly, when they show change. Ethan let out a breath that felt like a lifetime leaving his chest. Then let me start today. They sat in silence, watching the wind move the leaves around them. After a moment, Ethan asked, almost whispering, why did you give me your kidney? You didn't owe me anything. I wasn't a father to you. Zara looked at the sky. Because you're my father, whether you accepted me or not. But I didn't want to become like you. Someone who gives pain and walks away. I wanted to choose kindness. Ethan felt the words like a dagger of truth, sharp but cleansing. Ava returns. A shadow appeared at the garden entrance. A woman, elegant, despite exhaustion, familiar despite the years. Avazar's face brightened. Mom. Ava walked to her daughter and hugged her gently, avoiding the stitches. Ethan watched the scene he had lost the right to witness for 12 years. Ava then turned to Ethan. There was no hatred in her eyes, no love either, just a quiet strength. How are you feeling? Ava asked. Ethan's voice cracked. Alive. Because of her, she made me understand everything I ignored. Ava looked at Zara and nodded proudly. She's stronger than both of us ever were. Ethan did not disagree. Zara was the best part of them, the part he never deserved, but was still blessed with. Final scene. A new beginning. Discharge day arrived. Before they left, Ethan took out a small silver bracelet. He placed it gently in Zara's hand. It's not from my company, he said softly. It's from me, your father. It has your name engraved. Zara, read. If you allow me, I want to earn the right to be in your life. Zara stared at the bracelet, then, at Ethan. After a long silence, she said softly, okay, we can try. From today, Ethan's eyes filled, but his smile stayed steady. They walked out of the hospital together, slow, weak, healing. Their scars weren't signs of pain anymore. They were proof of survival, proof of forgiveness. 12 years ago, they broke apart. Today, they chose to rebuild. And Ethan knew one thing with certainty. He would never lose his daughter again.